Yo, what's up guys? We're back with another video. Today, I'm gonna be playing 99 Nights in the Forest. Wait, actually, I'm not gonna play 99 Nights in the Forest. Today, I'm gonna play some block shoots. Pirates, of course. And as you can see, I have Santa's cloak, pipe, reinforced slingshot, T-Rex, and dark step. Come here. Calibrating. Hold up guys, let me go get this fruit to see if it's actually a good one. So I'm not gonna travel over here since it says it's over here.
Save people hundreds. Oh, what's this? A fan is
Yep, it's definitely underwater. So let's just go over and get this fruit. Yep. Is it at prison? I think it is. So we're just go over here, and that background noise is just my grandpa watching the TV. That's definitely not prison. I did just eat that fruit. But joke's on you. I have permanent T-Rex.
I saw two survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with produce
Well,
in the United States after
now I'm just gonna employ something else.
potentially, given all the context we heard of other narco-terrorist boats in the area coming to their aid to recover their cargo and recover those narco-terrorists.
And Democratic Congressman Jim Hines, who was in the room for Admiral Bradley's testimony, even he admits that the second strike was indeed on drug trafficking.
What I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service. The United States military attacking shipwrecked sailors. Bad guys, but attacking shipwrecked sailors. Now, yes, they were carrying drugs. They were not in a position to continue their mission. The last thing I'm going to say is
Tower of Zombies. Let's play this.
there had not been a kill them all order, and that there was not an order to grant no quarter.
Greg, knowing all of this now, it gives me an
Cousin.
Bro,
my I like this.
This guy, douchebag, yeah, shipwrecked sailors. That guy had to roll back everything he said, and while he was rolling it back, he still kept digging a grave. What an idiot. Lecturing us on climate, gender, race, presidential confidence. They built a think by corrupting the media, no credibility in the future. This story says like 6 Democrats released a video suggesting that there could be possibly an illegal military action coming soon. And then just like magic, you get the story. Just appears.
Hey, I was just about to die. Looking very good. I'm gonna die again.
This is so it's almost unbelievable how stupid they think we are.
Dead. Okay, let's just keep on killing these zombies.
We don't admit that people have a massive appetite for drugs in this country, and even if we're blowing the living crap out of folks in the Caribbean, they will find another way. It is incredibly lucrative. These are multi-billion-dollar agencies. These are not just cartel families that we saw in the Gulf of Mexico, which is okay, being serious on that ever. These are massive enterprises that are incredibly creative and adept at finding new ways to deliver to American noses exactly what they want. And that's what we have to deal with in this country, because when drugs are bad for good, it is not good enough to deter.
I have to disagree. That is what makes this so different. This is we're taking it to them, and especially since we're not talking about drugs anymore. Really disrupt at one like the people and getting for Xanax and die. That is not what we've got. We're talking. That's not recreational drugs. This is basically homicide. You're killing hundreds the same time of going after these narco terrorists and these boats. But it seemed to me that you might be better than reconciling. I think even the same. Maybe intercept these guys. I'm not these guys. I want to stop them, but they're not the guys that are massive criminal enterprises that are flooding our country. And we have
Okay. Well, I died, so let's just play something else, I guess.
You just don't know what they're going to touch or what's going to happen. You got to drill in them. That appetite and that curiosity. We got to figure out how we stop it. You can do both.
Slappers versus runners.
This is necessarily the best way to do it. So you can't do both. No. The best way. No. When I say I don't think blowing up these boats. Sure, some of them, but figure out who's behind all of this. I think you could do that, and you could do what you're talking about. You can do 3 things. You can do 4, but I agree with you. Now, I will say this. I remember after Operation Midnight Hammer, there was a lot of media frenzy and speculation from the left and the right, and about what happened, how successful the mission was. And Secretary Hegseth and Lieutenant General Kane, who I think at the time, called him Raising Kane, might have been the joint chiefs already, they stood before the press corps and took up a lot of questions. As I listened to Secretary Hegseth and President Trump and Ms. Leavitt and Admiral Bradley, they don't all seem to be on the same page over the last few days. DP would have a much better and smarter perspective on this than I do. But as I just listened to them, I think it would behoove the Secretary and this Admiral Bradley to stand before and answer some of these questions, the questions they can't answer, so we can get some of the nonsense behind
You don't
this.
think they did today?
They didn't do it publicly. They did it before the Senate.
Maybe they,
But all I'm saying, Lieutenant General Kane and Secretary, they had Seth and Kane went before the country and answered questions about Operation Midnight Hammer. Why can't they go before the country and the press and answer some of these questions?
I mean,
It's a one-shot deal. This is an ongoing operation.
Okay.
I get things that are ongoing operation.
So let's go.
We blew it to smithereens. I agree with you.
Hold on.
I disagree with you. How do you disagree with me? You can deal with it on the demand side. You gotta stop doing the cocaine, but you also have to take it to the supply side. But you know, we've been interdicting these ships for 4 decades as it hasn't worked. We've been having Coast Guard cutters go off into the Caribbean and Pacific and capture these boats. And do these guys ever sing to who's the boss? No, they don't do anything. And then we send them back, we lock them up, and they escape. Don't you remember Miami Vice? We have to do something different. The argument the Democrats are making is we have to do the same thing we've been doing since 1980, which is treat this as a police action. And it hasn't worked. So now we're taking the fight to the enemy, and we can already tell it's working because Maduro's scared. He didn't leave to the Middle East. Mexico's shaking in their boots. They know that they could be next. And the Colombian guy's like on his last leg. So I like the policy, and it's not a controversial policy. You know Mark Thiessen thing? He did an interview today with the acting director of the Defense Intelligence Agency under Barack Hussein Obama. For 5 years, this guy was calling all the shots. This is what he said. At the heart of it, we use double taps all the time. I mean, some of them probably were injured again and again. And it was something that had bipartisan support on Capitol. How about this? Dan Crenshaw. I can't recall any time in my history of doing counterterrorism ops where we strike a group, whether it's a building or a boat or a vehicle, and then we're like, oh, they're survivors? We have to go. We can't kill them. Of course we killed them. This is not even a debatable issue. If these guys are radioing the cartel and are climbing back, not injured, into the boat and about to pick up the goat and send it back to another boat, then the boat's still operational.